What's up, chat? Welcome to the stream. We got to jump right into it because I'm a bit late because Replit is about to stream as well. So basically this stream, we're going to be catching that. Let's get right into it, chat. Let me open the stream. Let me set up the Replit. Give me a second, chat. Tuesday. Been a busy day today. I hope you guys had a good Tuesday. Let's get it today. We got huge advancements in the gigs, so we're finishing up work. We got some bugs coming up as well. Let's wait for Replit to join in. Let me turn off the audio here. And let me turn up the audio a bit for you guys. Alright, chat, let's just wait now and see what happens. Let me check the audio on my other machine. Alright, that's looking good. I got it. Alright, chat. No Fiverr work right now, but you guys know who I am, and if you don't, go back to the previous streams and you'll find out pretty fast. We've got a lot of client work to do today, mainly deliveries, and then at the same time work on the Buildathon. Let's see, chat. Let's see, let me log into Replit as well. "37 seconds to log into Replit. "24, let's go, chat. It's looking like we're looking at the moon landing. Let me give some likes. Alright, chat, let me zone out in mission control system. What's up, Thomas? We're here to watch the Replit Buildathon today. They're doing a live stream. So right now we're just getting ready for that stream. Just setting up things here.
Congrats, we're publishing your book. Get ready.
Here we go, chat. Let me do the audio one time, chat. And I'll mute myself for you guys so you can watch along. Let's go, Thomas. Are you joined in the Buildathon?
Much attention. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Oh no. We're missing Francisco. Let's throw him in. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. What's up, Francisco? Welcome to the show.
Good to see everyone. So great to see you.
It was almost a flawless opening, damn it.
No, I love him. Chris mentioned that he likes this new intro.
I feel you. Work first. Work first.
For putting it together.
All right, let's watch the stream, chat.
Good to see everybody. Cesar, Angelina, Rupir, Cognito Coding back in the building. So excited to see you as well as always. Yeah, but great to be back here.
Yeah. What's up, Brady? We got an action-packed show. I'm actually gonna switch. Let's do this because we're gonna go into slides here. So let's just bring Manny in and go right into the slides. I think that's what we're looking at here, right? We might be looking at. Did my screen drop? Oh, my screen dropped.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Manny in the house here? Say hello while I bring my slides back into this.
So pumped, man. We've got a ton of folks in here. Excited for today. I was commenting to Reimar, like, this is his element, like building live, building brands. So super pumped to see what Reimar has in store for us.
Yeah, this is a fun topic because I think we've talked about this a lot. We're going to be sound like beating a dead horse if you come to the stream regularly, but like distribution being the moat and like brand being such a big part of getting out there. Replit freshened up their brand a little bit with the Agent 4 release, and I think it's like we're in a time now for creators, and so like today we're going to talk a little bit about how to get your brand put together, how to kind of stand out from the crowd a little bit. We're going to talk about the dynamics of the Buildathon and how you were all kind of competing for each other's attention, some of the game dynamics that we've introduced. So let's go into that real quick. So we're going to do a quick intro, take it from the top. What's up to everybody who's been hanging out with us in the Buildathon? I think there was something like 400 people showing at the top of the website that are hanging out on the site. We'll talk a little bit about just all of that. So Francisco's going to give us some quick community updates. Manny's going to tell us about some stream. We're going to go a rundown for the Buildathon. So if you're just joining us and you're not
Sorry,
aware
chat, I
of
had
what
to
the
do
Buildathon
the
is,
audio
stay
just a
tuned.
sec.
We're going to run
Let's
through it
go.
real quick from top to bottom and just kind of review where we are in the process. You can still participate, right? So there's about 5,500 people, I think, that have signed up so far. There's 2,500 projects in the running, but you're not out of the running yet if you want to get into it. Again, we'll talk about the game dynamics, building your brand in Replit, and we'll, as usual, handle your questions. Manny's going to be fielding questions in the background, and we're going to be answering your questions throughout the whole stream today. So anyway, yeah, Francisco, Manny, you want to give us a shout out? What's happening for the rest of the week here?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Manny.
Yeah, jam-packed week, Reimar. I feel like we got shows every week except for Monday this week, I think, right? So tomorrow, we are doing a stream with Revenue Cat. So if you're unfamiliar with Revenue Cat, they are the easiest way to monetize your mobile apps. So for web apps, we have Stripe. Stripe works great, but then when you want to get payments in a place like the App Store, native within an application on the App Store, you're going to want to use Revenue Cat. And we have just launched a new integration with them that makes it super easy for you to add payments to your mobile app. So just as easy it is for you now to vibe code your mobile app, we're making it just as easy to add payments. And so I know this has been one of the #1 requested features for mobile builders. So super excited for tomorrow's show. That's going to be tomorrow at 9 o'clock Pacific time. Look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I know we've had a lot of questions around Revenue Cat, so this is your chance. This is a great way to learn. And for anyone in New York City, there's actually an event happening in person that same day. So Wednesday, New York Eastern time, there'll be an event. If anyone here in the stream is in New York and hasn't signed up yet, please let us know. I'm trying to get you
What's
on the
up,
list.
chat? Welcome,
We have a couple
PR.
different team members from the
Replit time.
team who will be
Sanjay,
there
welcome.
as well
Easy,
for that. So
welcome.
it'll be a really, really cool, awesome time.
Yeah, and
Nice.
one more thing, tomorrow, even if you're new to mobile building, we're going to cover all of the different steps from vibe coding your mobile app through submission to the App Store. So we're going to cover more than just payments, but we do have 2 folks from the Revenue Cat team tomorrow that are pros in everything mobile app development and payments and monetization. So just going to be a great resource for you to drop your questions and get all of your answers on those topics. I know it's super hairy stuff. So yeah, so definitely join us tomorrow.
Yeah, and if you were around during the Buildathon, during the mobile Buildathon, this was one of the biggest issues, was trying to get payments into your app, native to the App Store. And so this is a huge learning curve. If you want to go back, you can always go back and watch the other live streams from the mobile Buildathon to learn how to build some of those apps. And then Friday, I'm eager to also tune in and learn about how to implement some of this stuff. So yeah, that will be cool.
Then on Friday, we have a special show signed up. We have the winner from another challenge that we have going on right now, the content challenge. We have the winner from week 1 that's going to be making an appearance. So if you want to learn about distribution, about getting the word out there, getting really good at socials, that's going to be a really good interview. And then we're also going to be featuring the winners from last week's Buildathon competition as well. The 5 winners that we announced last week, we're going to get them on the show to talk to them about what they're building and tell them about and ask them about their experience with the Buildathon.
Yeah, so if you're watching and you were one of last week's winners, clear your calendar for Friday because the Discord stuff didn't work out real well. We wanted to kind of have a do-over with that. And so since we're going to announce the final winner a week after the Buildathon ends, we figured this would be a perfect cadence to just kind of be a week behind on the showcase of the folks. And so, yeah, so we're going to also so we've got office hours tomorrow. We've got the Revenue Cat stream tomorrow. We've got the showcase stream Friday. Who knows what we're going to do Thursday. Last week we did an office hours kind of co-build. We had talked about some beginners style content. So stay tuned for maybe even another stream this week. On top of that, we'll see how things fly as the cookie crumbles. But let's go. Anything else, Francisco, that the community should have top of their head? They can always go to Luma to check out where the other calendars are. I think I saw somebody asking about where to RSVP. Go to the replit.com/community, and you can see all the events and kind of everything about the community there with a link to the events page for any future updates. But yeah, any other updates, Francisco?
Yeah, I dropped in a link for the Luma event, or excuse me, the Revenue Cat event in New York City. Another thing is I've gotten a lot of questions about ambassadors overall in general. So just a heads up, we're going to be opening up the program publicly starting next month in April. So for a lot of folks that have been interested in the program, you're going to hear from us very, very soon. We're literally going to prioritize a lot of the folks that are in here every day, you know, with all of our different sessions in Discord. So yeah, please be sure to check out the community landing page for more information on the ambassador program. But there's a lot more to come, and there's a lot more events in person globally going to be happening soon. We had events in London, Japan, Tokyo, New York City, and many, many more over just the past week alone. So there's going to be a lot more in-person events happening globally, and we're excited to kind of showcase those with you very, very soon.
Yeah.
But with that, that's all from my end.
Yeah, and I was going to say on the ambassador stuff too, like it goes with the standing out stuff. Like the best way to get into the ambassador group and the way that most of the ambassadors have gotten in there has been like, hey, do some cool stuff out in the community, start a meetup. And I think one of the things we'll talk a little bit about building your brand is like organizing other folks in the community is a great way to kind of build your personal brand and kind of stand out in the space. I've seen a lot of folks in the Buildathon offering feedback and sharing feedback, and I'm sure those folks are seeing a lot of people come back to their profile and interact with their stuff, and it's a very reciprocal type of thing. And so one of the things you can really do, whether you're an official ambassador or not, to start standing out in the community and building your brand is just to start like figuring out how do you organize things around you in your language, in your, you know, like in your city, there's probably people that want to learn Replit, people that are learning about vibe code, and you could easily elevate your standing, land some clients, find ways to break into the market by, you know, doing some of this stuff outside of, you know, like an official Replit capacity. And then, you know, like maybe as we roll this stuff out, you know, we start pulling in the best of the best into that stuff. So just a heads up, you know, you can always start this stuff before you're
I can go voice chat, they're yapping a bit.
You know, a lot of times that gives you a little bit of a head start. So.
Absolutely.
They ask for a lot of engagement for these streams.
On that point, Ryan, can I just give a quick shout out to Ricky Funk? Is it Ricky Funk? He hosted like an hour-long office hours on his own. Like he had like business owners on, and he was vibe coding applications for them, and he was doing it in Spanish. And then he posted that. I was like, "Oh, that's so cool, man! Thank you so much, Ricky Funk." So that's the kind of, I think, initiative, and it's a great example of like, hey, like you don't have to wait to get into an ambassador program to start doing stuff like that. We'd love to see you do that sort of stuff. So thank you, Ricky, for doing that.
And then one of the questions that I'm seeing here as well is for anyone that submitted the form before. No, you're going to get first early access. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'll be sending out an email to all the people that have filled out the form previously to get earliest access to the application form itself. And then you'll be sure to kind of get looped into that before we go fully public with it. So yeah, Angelina, I see you. And yeah, absolutely. And I remember seeing your application as well. So very, very awesome.
People saying here that they love Ricky. Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, and we talked about doing more Spanish language type of content. I still gotta work on my Spanish a little bit before we do that. Maybe I'll build like in Replit, like a real time transcriber or English to Spanish assistant to help me out. But yeah, we want to do more of that for sure.
Awesome.
Maybe live from Mexico, or maybe live from Brazil or Argentina.
I don't want to speak too soon, but maybe there's something coming up. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh, stay tuned.
Awesome.
I had a Chrome.
Welcome to the stream, Malcolm. We're locked in watching the Replit Buildathon and vibe coding my project at the same time. So
yeah,
mute it.
Some more,
but enjoy the Buildathon and we'll talk later.
Things. I'll drop in a link here shortly, and then I'll kind of give you access to the ambassador program and everything else there. So yeah, feel free to check it out and sign up there. Go ahead.
We've got some volunteers for the Spanish programming. Good. Yeah, you can help us out.
Awesome.
Like artificial intelligence, inteligencia artificial.
Yeah.
Vibe coding. Like, how would you translate vibe coding?
I don't know yet.
The vibes.
There you go.
Replit. Cool. Let us know if you're still setting up, Rymar. Otherwise, there's some questions in the chat I can cover.
Yeah, let's maybe just go through some Buildathon stuff. I am having a Replit. I don't know if it's Chrome or it's loading. I think something happened in Chrome, and now I'm having a hard time getting my Replit projects to load. So it may just take a second to come in. But let's go to the screen share. Do we have the? Okay, let's go to this scene, and then let's share screen inside of here. Let's talk a little bit about what's been happening with the Buildathon a little bit. There's 435. I think there's more people on the site than there are on the stream right now, which is interesting to me. And I think what's happening is folks just kind of leave the site open in the background. Like people have just been in here. Like I've been kind of watching the Buildathon site over the last, like over the weekend, and the activity on here has just been absolutely insane. You can go and look and see, you know, like the frequency with which people are interacting, favoriting. There's this whole replicash concept that we introduced that lets people kind of earn currency. So maybe we should talk about that because I think the slides, I don't think we ever got to the slides, and this is where it's, I'm not able to get back to my slides, honestly, here. That's the problem. Okay. Well, what we were going to talk about, what I was going to talk a little bit about is just kind of these new game dynamics. I wanted to explain a little bit about what this is and how it works. So what you just saw here come in is people can shout out a project now. So for instance, if I go to this project here, I can come in and I can give the project a shout out. And then you can see the activity for each project. And so we're trying to, and then you can see the replicash. So there's a couple different mechanics happening at play here. Every voting round, we issue the folks in the Buildathon replicash, right? Some arbitrary amount of this fun in-game currency. The goal of that currency is for you all to spend it, right? As you spend it, rewarding the other.
I'm on the stream chat. You can see my name. I just donated to that application. That's crazy.
Here, I can click to send them replicash. Now I'm an admin, so I have unlimited replicash.
Nice.
You get on my good side, maybe I send you some replicash. But you all will have some replicash, and this replicash that your project earns is what you can use to then kind of promote or advertise your product at the top of the gallery and activity page. So there's a couple things that are new. Again, one of them is this activity page, this bidding page, and then this winner's profile here. Winners page. Let me refresh and see. There we go. And if anything doesn't just load for you the first time, just give it a little refresh. It should come through there on the refresh. Okay, so that's just been crazy fun. Like you can see, there's 448 people. I did find mistakes. So one of the things that I found in the process of building this is first things when we did the WebSocket in the top, you know, that was originally like we have the deployment, the Replit deployment on auto scale, which means it kind of splits up the deployment across a bunch of different servers. And so when we were seeing the numbers, you were just seeing the numbers of whatever server you happen to be on. Now it's a combined number. So from now on, it should be a lot bigger number on the site as we kind of see the real impact of how many people are interacting on the site. And I have learned a lot about optimizing sites for performance at scale. So yeah, let me see if I can get back to my slides. But yeah, Manny, Francisco, any thoughts just about the general excitement around the community, kind of what people are doing, everything
it's been
that's
incredible.
kind of happening?
Yeah, it's been insane. For me, just seeing the Discord come alive has been absolutely amazing. I mean, we've had so many requests around it, but also it's just like it was in the, in the Buildathon site that Rymar built over the weekend, and it was just incredible to see all the little faces of everyone that was working like on a random. It was like Saturday night at like 11 p.m. my time, so it was like something that Rymar threw in there kind of near the end, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cute. And then like it's like my favorite thing about the website right now. So it's just been amazing, and thank you all so much for being so supportive, so helpful to each other. And like again, I've seen a couple of comments. I was like, do I need to be a part of it? Do I have to compete? No, you don't. Like this is just an amazing opportunity to be able to build with others and learn along the way, which is exactly what's going on here.
Well, and one of the things I'm pushing Francisco for, I'm gonna push him publicly a little bit here, is maybe we're gonna do some credit prizes for folks who are not like the best builder, right? Because some of you have been so overwhelmingly generous with your time and like reviewing projects and just kind of doing other stuff that's also relevant to like this little ecosystem, that we're gonna try to figure out how to reward some other people as part of this. And so to me, it's been very interesting to watch this like little ecosystem kind of brew in here. There's like money you can earn. We're kind of issuing money. So we're like playing this central bankroll. And then like Francisco said, there's all these people that you know, like you're just active on the site. You can see the activity feed. Just been really cool to see everyone kind of the dynamics of people bidding for when the next advertisement opens up and stuff. And so I imagine the bidding during the live streams will get expensive because of the amount of people that are on the site. So people will be watching at the top to see how many people are up here. How much should I bid to get my project at the top? It's just been kind of a fun game dynamic generally. So let us know in the comments what you think about that, or what might be fun to add, or you know, we've had to build some counter, you know, some of y'all are trying to game the system, so we've had to build some systems for that too. So just generally been fun to watch this whole thing play out. But yeah, Manny, any thoughts? Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
Francisco.
yeah.
I'll be working on a check. I'll be working on that check for you again, right, Mark? So
get,
give me some
get that
time.
money, son.
Big check. Just make it out to Rymar. He'll
Yeah.
blank it. Yeah, leave the amount blank. For me, I'm looking forward to seeing how these projects evolve. Like
Yeah.
we saw them at first glance last week, and gave some feedback. All of you are giving great feedback to the projects, and I'm eager to see the delta from week to week. So that's what I'm most pumped about.
Yeah.
And you know, we have a huge number now. I think we're up to like 5,000, like 5,500 folks signed up. So more for us to review. But yeah, really looking forward to that change week to week.
Yeah, let's look up that exact number here. 5,482 registered profiles, 2,566 projects in some state or another, active projects. And yeah, in some phase of project, right? Either it's in draft in the back end, or you've submitted it, or checkpoints, or checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2. Checkpoint 2 is now open. So for anybody who's following along with the competition, let's go to see that real quick. Let's just go to the profile, and let me go into my brag sheet project here, and we'll see that I have a little progress indicator on the right side here, right? So I can see my different checkpoints. So I can see my week 1 checkpoint, but what I'm really interested in is this week 2 checkpoint. This is what you'll have to do for your week 2 submission, all right? So you're still going to explain to us the problem you're trying to solve in 1 sentence. Maybe this is different. Maybe this is the exact same thing you did last week. I don't know, right? But what you want to do is get more clear on how you're solving the problem and how you're using Replit to solve this problem. Then you're going to pitch us your video, right? You're going to pitch us your progress as a video update, right? You're going to tell us, this is what I'm building with my Replit project. Here's why you should look at it. Maybe I'm doing a screen share. Maybe I'm doing a demo. This is how you're going to stand out, right? So this video is exactly what you want to send us. This is what we're going to watch during the judging process. This judging process is going to be a little bit more structured than the last. And what we're really looking for is for you to stand out, pitching us your story, showing us your brand, extra credit for being an actual face in the video, or an actual human voice rather than an AI generated video, images, etc. If you're going to use AI to generate anything, use Replit to generate a slide deck, and then present that slide deck to us along with some demo. We want to see the product working. We want to see you showing us why this problem matters to you, why you're building this solution, etc. This is, again, your moment to shine. You got to build your little mini brand inside of the Buildathon here. And then we want to know, did you pivot or update your idea? So from last week, what changed week over week? Did you change directions completely? We're going to talk a little bit about pivots here as we talk about brand and what comes next. But we want to know, did you pivot your idea? Did you change directions? Did you start from scratch? You know, what have you done that you've learned from last week? And why did you do those? Why did you pivot? So that's kind of what the submission will be. You can save that as a draft at any time. And then the submission is due this Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific. And as you can see here, it's counting down. It's saying 1 day, 23 hours left. We will not be extending this checkpoint. There will likely not be the issues we had with the first one. So again, to qualify for the weekly prizes, you need to get this in by Thursday. If you want to qualify for the grand prize and you're not worried about qualifying for the weekly prizes, you can then submit this whenever. You can go back and submit all your checkpoints. You can, literally join next week and go back and retrofill all your checkpoints, and you're still in the running for the grand prize. But if you are looking to qualify for the weekly prizes, then this form needs to be filled out by Thursday at, again, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and this will show you in your own time zone. So when you're looking at this, this will show you based on where you are. Anything I missed, Manny, Francisco, there that we should cover as far as like Buildathon technical stuff before we get into any of this other stuff?
One quick question that I've seen a couple of times is just to clarify, people can submit their projects now, right? There's a checkpoint now if they need to.
This is
Cool.
open now, correct. So this is open now. To get to that, you'll just go to your project page. So again, on the sidebar, you have a profile here, and then you see your project and all your activity across the network. You click into the project there, and on the side, you'll see your progress bar, right? Along with all your network activity and everything that's happening with your project, you will see this progress bar, and then you'll have a start for your week 2 checkpoint there. And that's where you'll get to this form here. So just on your project page, you'll see this progress indicator, and everything you need to do is going to be in this progress indicator. So if you're starting now, you'll see this profile, and you can edit your profile, you can edit your projects. Once that's complete, that will kind of disappear for you. And then it's just the 3 weekly checkpoints that you have to hit. And that's all on your project page.
Awesome. Perfect.
Underneath the wallet. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so let's jump back into here. Let's go back into this. Just a real quick overview of what people are building. Health and wellness leads the charge across the board here. What I thought was more interesting, let me hide this here. What I thought was more interesting is where this stuff kind of falls on the landscape of things. Like, are these personal problems, or are they for the entire market? And then is it my problem alone, or is it lots of people's problems at the top of the chart? And so again, seeing how people are solving, and that most of the stuff people are building with Vibe Code and Replit are for themselves and for their people, like small circle stuff, and then just branching out into the enterprise market, which makes sense with the state of the market right now. Any of this surprising, these last 2 slides, Manny or Francisco?
I think if you go back to the second slide, where people are solving for everybody's problem, I think that's somewhat interesting, because one of the things that I've been seeing is just the level of domain expertise in with some of the competitors is really outstanding, really unique. I think Chris pointed this out as well. And I almost feel like that's like an underappreciated emotion, where like you solve something for that's a pain point for you that you've seen in your space and your career, and then you like that's your niche. Because in some ways we're talking about distribution and standing out, and the niche and your familiarity with that problem, that pain point, is going to be one of those vectors that's going to help you stand out. So yeah, so I think I almost counter to this, I would say like niching down to your particular problem and something that's painful for you. One, you'll be surprised by how many more of those folks have that problem out in the world. And then two, I think you're more likely to stay with it because it's something that you care about, and it will help you kind of power through those hiccups and those issues that you have along the way.
Yeah, I just Francisco, I remembered you saying you had to drop off, so I dropped you there. But yeah, if you want to pop back in, let us know. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, Manny, and I think that this is going to be a big part of the whole like the next wave of SaaS and kind of innovation is going to happen, I think, at that scale. I solve a problem for me that nobody really sees, that no other VC had kind of seen as like a problem that mattered to the world. And then I start sharing it with people, and then other people start realizing, hey, I have that problem too. That thing goes viral, and then you solve a problem for lots of people that you really didn't intend to like scale out to be that thing, right? I think we're going to see a lot of stuff like that. And also a lot of communities that already kind of currently exist right now, which goes to like building your brand. A lot of communities are figuring out, hey, how do we activate? We have all these people around us. How do we activate this thing for a specific like initiative or for a specific cause? And so I think people are getting better at that. We're seeing community kind of led marketing everywhere. That's like that's a lot of what we're doing here. And so yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of that kind of start small and then sprawl out into like a bigger market as people will get better and the tooling gets better.
And I think people are going to make this adjustment as they start going to market. So like I think when you're building something from scratch, you probably like you want to tackle the biggest TAM, right? And you go after that. But then when you try
TAM is
to
total addressable market.
total addressable market. Yeah, so this is one of the things people like start like how big is your TAM? Like it's got to be huge, right? Well, I mean, I think eventually it has to be huge, but you want to start very small and niche to get traction, and then you eventually build into a bigger TAM. So like Uber started with like black service cars or limousine services, and then validated that, and then went to like everything else, right? Cars, delivery, etc. And so I think what you're going to find is if you start off so wide and you go to market and you start putting together, putting content out there, it's going to be hard for you to stand out. But if you go niche and it's very personal, it's easier for you to make the case for why you're building that thing and why somebody should trust you, to try out your service. And so I think as people go to market and try to get customers and try to get distribution, they're going to come back to like, oh, I got to go more narrow, more niche, because that's like really where I have like high authority. I'm passionate about it, and people will trust me to try out my app.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what's coming next is a whole new wave of ideas and solutions from people that just haven't thought about it. And that's why we want to talk a little bit about build your brand, because build your product is one thing, but build your brand is a whole different beast. So, all right, we talked about the replicash economy a little bit. We talked about the Buildathon advertising. I think this is maybe about where the screen crashed or my Chrome crashed. So this was super fun to see. Average bid price $766. Total ad spend almost $100,000. Some of you guys are getting outbid. Again, there's this fun game dynamic to see like the whole advertising market kind of break out inside of this, and then the network activity across here. So, okay, we talked a little bit about some of that. Let's see. One thing I want to address this question I just saw. I'm still exploring all the features. Is it possible to publish our projects to the gallery and have other people search by theme? Yeah, you can search in the gallery right now by whatever you want. So if I say travel, for instance, and I search for travel, I will see all the stuff that might be related to travel. I also have tags that I can click, and these will search server side. So the search is fairly robust. I would say come and explore. With 2,500 projects, it's really hard. The gallery reshuffles every time it loads, so hopefully that will help kind of create some new stuff visibility wise. But it's going to be up to you all to kind of get out into the world, which again is why we're talking about building your brand. Let's see, let's hide that. Sorry. Okay, so how to sell yourself and get noticed online. That's what we want to talk about today. How to package your digital work, get out into the real world. And this is something Replit's really good at, because to do that in a digital world, you need home base, right? You need a digital home base. And that's kind of where the concept for my brag sheet and what we're going to talk about and try to build today it came into play. Just one more quick reminder, we do have Friday, this content creator showcase. So if you're interested in this kind of content and you want to learn more about getting out into the mix, we've got the winner from the Content Creator Challenge, as well as Tala from Replit, who handles all of our socials and influencer marketing. She's going to give us some insights on how you can kind of create content that has a chance to go viral or at least stand out with an audience. And so that will be something you all want to tune into. So let's just jump in a little bit and let's try to define what is a brand at first, right? So a brand is like the feeling, the thought, the idea that people have about your product, service, goods, etc. We all have a brand, right? We have a personal brand. Some of us maybe have a company brand that we represent also. Some of us may have a startup that we represent. Some of us may have other facets of our life. Maybe we're, again, I guess the professional brand, we won't get it like that would all fall into, I was going to say like if you're into CrossFit or if you're into like some type of thing, like, but that kind of falls into your personal brand, right? And so in the world of getting into this business space and this digital space, you have to decide, what do I want my brand to look like? How do I want my brand to be perceived? How do I want people to feel when they interact or discuss my brand? How am I going to get my brand out into the world? And am I going to stay positioned as a personal brand versus am I going to go and create a company persona, an agency, a corporate brand, right? And this is all a big deal as far as getting into the market, because a lot of people have success, especially in this current day, staying small, building a personal brand, kind of being this indie hacker slash vibe coder slash I just make stuff. That can be very, enticing. That can be a big market. But if you want to then position yourself for larger clients, if you want to kind of go the agency route, if you want to launch a specific product, take your startup into the market, you probably want like a professional company brand, et cetera, right? And so how you even start thinking about what your brand is, how you want to position yourself in the market, how you want to position your product in the market, all comes down to like this creative process of like defining your brand. This could be a brand voice, right? Like how do you sound when you talk to people? Your design. So what does it look like when people see your brand? Like all the way down to the system for how you like what the experience, right? Or is it going to be a commercial, corporate, very clean and polished brand, or is it going to be a little grungy? Is it, think about the difference between Anthropic and Red Bull, right? Think about the difference between Coca-Cola and Replit, right? Like you have these totally different brands, right? They all have, and you have different thoughts. When you hear Coca-Cola, when you hear Pepsi, you have different ideas of what the product is. You have different personal experiences with those products, and all of those things come into like the making of what a brand is. And in the world that we live in, a brand basically becomes your ability to generate attention and build trust with the audience, right? Like this is the whole mechanism of everything like that lives in the digital world. And not even in the digital world, this is like in the general world. If I trust you and you have my attention, then we are likely to find ways to transact value in the world. And the way we transact value in the world right now is, exchanging money, right? Product for services, product for time, time for, services. Like this is the basic way that the foundation of an economy. So, Manny, any thoughts on building your personal brand, generating attention and trust? I want to talk about a couple mechanisms for generating attention and building trust. But Manny, any thoughts on the personal brand side of things? Because you have a pretty strong personal brand. Obviously, we represent Replit also, and so like we both have both sides of that, right? We have a little personal brand, we have a little company brand. So how have you dealt with that approach, brand building?
Totally. Really quick, I just wanted to recommend a book that's been really helpful for me, which is Zag. Um, and this just talks about like what is a brand and the different components, different examples. And the thing that I always remember is like a logo is not a brand. A brand is how like you feel about a company. It just encompasses so much more than a logo. So I always kind of remember that. But nice, quick, easy read. Highly recommend. The other book that comes to mind here is Show Your Work. I don't know if I have it handy here, but just the idea of like constantly being out there and showing what you're building. I think that's how both
100.
me and you started. Rymar is like, not being too shy of saying like, hey, this is what I worked on. Here's what I discovered. Maybe it's helpful for other folks. And then just pushing that out there. The other thing that's been helpful for me is just around consistency. I think like early on, I always had a goal, like at least I wanted to post one helpful thing that for at least one person on a weekly basis. And whether that is something that I discovered, a video or a feature that I wanted to share, I wanted to post that and share that on a consistent basis. And I think that consistency, people reward you for that, and people start developing a sense of who you are doing that. And eventually, like the thing that I wanted to share was Replit, and I just like started sharing Replit, what I'm building with Replit, and then I got on like Amjad's radar, Matt Palmer's radar, and then now here I am representing Replit. So yeah, I think for me, like the things that would have been helpful when I was first starting is like consistency, like and like and then also not being so hyper focused on feeling like you have to deliver something that's fully finished. I think telling your journey and what you're doing is also helpful. So if you're thinking about a project, if you're like thinking about how to start an idea, you're sketching out concepts, that's not a fully fledged product or app that's done, but that's still going to be helpful for somebody else that's earlier on in their journey. And so another framework that's been helpful to me is like you're just trying to help the person that's right behind you. So think about yourself like maybe 2 weeks from where you are right now. What would have been helpful? What would have been helpful for you to know? Encapsulate that, share that, post it, and then that's it. Like try to do that on a weekly basis. So those are the sort of the things that come to mind that have been helpful for me.
Yeah, and I mean, the consistency is what builds the trust, right? Like I almost never, okay, in the personal world, when I meet somebody, especially when I meet them with friends, you kind of start with like 100% trust. But in the world we live in online, when I see somebody's social profile, when I see somebody's business page, my first thought is like, yeah, right, this ain't real. Like almost not always, but like unless it came from like a friend that I trust, right? But if I'm just stumbling into something, I have a little bit of like, what's going on? Is this something I should put my attention into? Because attention's expensive. The reason why humans, all right, little biological lesson, little like life lesson here. The reason, like, if you look, humans have one of the largest white areas around our eyes, and the reason for this evolutionarily, people think, is that like it allows us to understand where other people have focused their attention. So if I'm looking at you, and you can try this is a fun social experiment with friends. When I'm sitting around with friends, if I look my head like this, even if there's nothing there, almost everybody at the table is going to look and pay attention to that thing, right? Even if I don't take my head, if I just move my eyes to that thing, people are going to look at that thing, right? And so this is an expensive social signal that's kind of built into how we have evolved as a species. attention, right? And we've really never been in a moment in time where attention has been this thing that we're competing for at such a scale, right? You've really only had to compete for attention with like your tribe, right? There's this Dunbar number, like 150 people that are like closest to you, right? And so like now we have to compete for attention at a global scale, which means we're seeing all sorts of perversions, all sorts of advertisements, all sorts of, like gamification to try to get your attention. And so, Manny, what you're talking about with consistency is really just building trust, right? It's building this consistency of being in front of people, showing them that, hey, I think this thing and I'm willing to do this over and over and over. And as I'm doing this, I'm building trust, because if I see you now and then I see you doing the same thing 6 months from now, I'm like, oh, this person really is interested in this thing. What are they doing there? Right. And so almost never are you going to come out and build your brand initially right off the bat and everyone's going to trust you. It's just not going to happen. Right. And so it's this process of building, making things, putting yourself out there in a way that other people can find you. And this is how over time you can build a valuable brand. And this is kind of what I want to talk a little bit about.
One other thing that I also want to call out, and this is kind of a general trend that I'm observing, and it motivated me to like put in that work and be consistent. Is just the idea that we're moving towards more of a creator economy. People buy from folks and personalities, and so that's an asset now. So if you think of Mr. Beast, now he has all of these different brands, chocolate, whatever, food, everything, and they're buying it because they trust Mr. Beast, they know Mr. Beast, and he is the one that's selling it. So in some ways, like things are getting flipped a little bit. Like it's more like your brand, your personal brand, and people want to trust you, or people trust you and they buy from you, and then you sell them products. And so I think it's just going to be more and more important to do that. And then also I think it's not just for selling products, but for like anything, like, getting a job now. Like, people are going to check out your socials now. They're going to see like, oh, Manny's applying for Replit. Okay, like, has he been talking about vibe coding? Has he been talking about Replit? Let me see all the stuff that he's put out in the last 6 months, and they're going to see like a consistent record of me constantly talking about Replit, talking to people, helping them build. And that moves me to the top of the list of a potential job opportunity as well. And so that's motivating for me as well, like this massive creator economy trend that I'm seeing, and I want to start investing in that asset for myself.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the things, I see some names in here, Gary V, and who was the other one I just saw? Somebody else said. Anyway, a lot of things they talk about is getting to networks early. Getting into places where you can kind of promote yourself or your product or kind of stand out. And so I think it's very difficult, and this is one of the things. Like, okay, so we're gonna go into building here a little bit, but I want to talk a little bit about, as you go into getting distribution or you start thinking about this, you have to start thinking about, how do I get out of the Buildathon sphere, right? There's only so much attention you can get from being on this website, right? There's 460.
This is the safe zone. This is your safety zone, right?
Correct. This is super safe to just like be in the Discord and be like, let me just pound this channel with like my project and please look at me, please look at me, please look at me, please look at me. Like, that's not working, right? Like, that's not going to get you anywhere. You have to now figure out, how do I take this project out into the world, right? You have to show it to your friends. You have to post about it on social, like not just for the checkpoint, right? Your post on social shouldn't just be this one time on checkpoint, I'm like posting this thing, and then you're posting to a profile that has no activity on it. You need to be building some kind of place, some kind of audience, some kind of thing that you can nurture, so that when you post and be like, hey, look at my project, folks might look. And this may look like sending it one-on-one to people for their like just in the text message, right? It might look like sending it to your group chat. One of the other things we added is that if you click on the project now, you can, or when you share your project page, it's going to show.
Yo, what's up, chat? Sorry, I was muted. Which max plan you use? Welcome, Noxious. I'm on the $200 plan. Two $200 plans, $100 plan. Yo, Phoenix, thanks, man. We hit that yesterday. W in the chat, but we did that yesterday. But thank you, means a lot. We out here. We're gonna continue grinding every day. Watching Replit now, and later we're gonna be building.
People that can access your project. The person who's going to win this is going to make a splash outside of Buildathon participation. Is I guess what I'm trying to say long term. Any other thoughts there, Manny, about promoting and kind of getting outside of the bubble here?
100%. I think this is your safe zone. This is where you start building and you get feedback from folks, but the signal it's out there. You have to go out and like get live customers that don't know you. Again, we got that comment like, how can you evaluate so many projects in such a short period of time? And I think we're giving people way more time than they would get out in the real world. Like for your actual consumers and buyers, you probably have 3 seconds to make an impression and have them take action on your application. And so, yeah, like definitely, like the community is great. We're all supporting each other, but let's not lose sight of the goal here. And the goal is to get actual users out in the real world that may not know you, that go 0 from 1 to trying out your application.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what we've got here is though like a real small microcosm of the like larger ecosystem. And I really haven't seen anybody like sweep the field and standing out. Like there's not like a single project that everyone's like, oh, look at this thing, you know, which is interesting to me because I imagined that there would be by this point some project that was just like out in front of the crowd. And I don't really see. I see a couple projects that like
Hmm.
keep kind of coming up for sure, but I haven't seen anybody that's just like, oh, this person's
Hmm.
gonna like take the show away. So
Well,
that's interesting to me that like we have this like feed that people can participate in. There is like a little attention network that people can kind of harness here, but I haven't really seen anybody leverage that to like max potential yet, where they're kind of breaking out or seeing them like on X or LinkedIn kind of doing
yeah.
their own thing. So that's interesting to me.
Yeah, and I think my observation is that winning, you need to do two things. You need to build and you need to sell. And this is the Naval Ravikant quote, which is like, to win, you want to be a great builder or you want to be a great seller. And if you want to dominate, you want to do both. And I think we're in the era where you have to do both. And so I'm seeing a couple of projects where like the idea is great and the application looks really good. I'm playing around with this great, but then you look at the video and it's like, like it's not selling me. And so I think what we're going to find, Rymar, is like over the course of 3 weeks, people are going to put those two together and they're going to figure out how to vibe code a great application, watching live streams like today's and building. But then two, they're going to figure out the distribution part and the marketing part, and they're going to bring it together. And that's when they're going to have like that click and it's just going to go. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing is like, as you know, depending on where they start, like some people are really good presenters, some people are really good product people and builders, and they're gonna start like merging and you're gonna see these folks that do both those things really well and just pop.
Yeah, yeah. I want to address this because it gets getting under my skin a little bit. So is this whole buildathon just about how many eyeballs we can get on a project and get you all recognition from doing so? What recognition are we getting from you putting eyeballs on your project? What we're trying to do is help people stay accountable over the course of time to get their product out into the world, right? A lot of times people need a little boost. They need a little like, a little camaraderie when they build. And so the whole spirit of the competition is just to help folks kind of get out there. And yes, like as a virtue of this, like, are we hoping to be able to showcase what Replit Agent 4 can do? Yeah, that's the whole goal, is to like showcase the power of this thing. But the power of this thing is helping you all build your ideas and build your dreams, right? And so like it's a win-win. So yeah, I think it's a this is just one of those things.
What's up,
where
FPS?
it's an
Welcome to the
opportunity
chat.
for you to build alongside of other people.
PRW's in the chat, homie.
Some eyeballs on these ideas that you have.
And can I just say, like, what an opportunity to kickstart your personal brand, right? Because
Mhm.
like you're rolling with like what do you say 4,500 folks that can put, like, when you post something on social and you share it in the buildathon and you has or in Discord, you're like, hey guys, I just posted this, would you mind like checking it out? If you like it, share it. Like now you have like potentially 100 people that can amplify your message. Like how great would that have been, Rymar, when we were starting
Bro,
off, right?
this stuff didn't
Like
exist.
I would have killed for like just 50 people to look at my stuff and potentially like it or give me a little comment. Like I was starving for one little like, one little comment. And
Yeah.
here you have like an army of people that are want to help you out, that will reciprocate with you, that want to help you get the word out on your product. Like that's like a great jumping off point.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Um, okay, let's do this. Let's send in a couple prompts. I unfortunately can't get to, for some reason, the preview in this window won't work with the project I was hoping to keep working on from last week. So we're gonna start something new here. My Chrome crashed through a bug, so I'm gonna start something new here. And what I've asked it is, let's talk about this a bit before. You've seen that before, and maybe explore some ideas on the canvas before we get started. So I'm going to send this and just see what we get here. And then I'm going to read the prompt to you all that we have here. So I want to build a simple social network for vibe coders. I'm going to pivot here. So I was building a brag sheet, but we've been talking about building your brand. We've been talking about this app store. We've been talking about kind of this like getting out into the market, right? So
hey, they're stealing our idea, chat.
Here, see what we can build. I'm going to build like an invite only social network to start inviting the best of the Buildathon into this next tier. If your videos are high quality, if your stuff's whatever, like I don't know if this is not an official part of the Buildathon. This is Rymar just making shit up on the fly because the Replit project won't work. But we're going to see if we can like create a little competition for you all, because Friday Tala's going to come in and she's going to talk about content, and there's this whole content showcase that's also going along. So for the last week of the Buildathon, there's an overlap between the Buildathon and the content showcase. And what I would like to do is have some of the Buildathon participants take over the content showcase. So we're going to try to find the best of the Buildathon, and we're going to try to like figure out how do we like elevate some of these folks into this content challenge and see if we can like, you know, create some really cool videos that showcase Buildathon products, but also give you an opportunity to win credits on both sides. So maybe you can take home Buildathon prizes, but also maybe you can qualify for the content creator prize. Manny, what do you think about that?
Amazing, dude. Amazing. I mean, again, we're talking about like not only are you building with other folks, but the opportunity to engage with 4,500 folks to engage
It's all good. We'll build in the background. Banks FPS.
Well, so like if you post something that's interesting to us, that's cool, we're gonna reshare it from our own accounts, from the Replit account. You're gonna potentially be on the live stream. Like guys, this is such a great opportunity to jumpstart this thing and to jumpstart your the attention and your brand. Like that to me is like in itself so worth it.
Yeah, agreed. And just going back to what you're saying, like I would have loved to have a network like this as we grow. So let's see what we can build. Let's see what kind of fun we can build here. Okay, so here's what I told it. I said, I want to build a simple social network for vibe coders, except instead of an ethereal feed, right? So I don't want this activity feed that's like always churning. I want to create.
Sorry to interrupt, but could you zoom in a little bit on that, if possible?
Yep. Okay. So I don't want like just a bunch of stuff spamming feeds in this, right? I want something where it's not LinkedIn, it's not a link in bio, it's not a resume, but it's a place I can like promote my projects that I'm doing, because I'm vibe coding, I'm shipping projects all the time, and those don't go on my website. That was the whole premise of like why I wanted to start this brag sheet. But then I started thinking, and as I started talking to people about this, I'm like, well, I have lots of other friends that are building things also, and maybe we could all kind of share our little build profile and we could link to each other, and in there is like this little app store type thing that we could have, you know? And so like there's other vibe coders, maybe, you know, like maybe we have a Buildathon network and there's other networks, maybe there's like a web designers network, maybe I don't know, right? Whatever people want to showcase, but I kind of want it to be,
yo, for real, this is my idea, man. Dollar Vibe Club, chat.
Asking it to do here. The network will be invite only and feel like an exclusive app store, but really it's our creator network. It should allow invited users to create a profile.
I better get building though.
Project cards and pages should feel like app store pages and app previews, but instead of downloading, you'll either view the app or remix it, a Replit link. The app should feel half like Product Hunt, half Apple Store, with Linktree style profiles for each user that allows them to showcase a short bio, details about themselves, along with their projects and career milestones they're proud of. There's no real social feed here, just a directory of cool creators and their projects that people can interact with. So it's a blend of a member directory, app store, discovery network, etc. And then I asked it, let's talk about it and see things on the canvas. So here's the response. Cool. It talks about the creator profiles, Linktree style pages, yes. Project pages, app store style detail page, yes. 2 keys, call to action, view live and remix, okay. Discovery directory, yes. Invite system, gated access that creates a feeling of yes. Okay. Interactions. You mentioned people can interact with projects and creators. What does that look like? Upvotes, comments, or is it purely view and remix?
Wow, I see that they're not doing the whole course part in it, so they're mainly doing just for the vibe coders. And I think the stronger part is adding in connecting people who don't know vibe coding as well. But anyway, I'm building as he's speaking, so all good. And we've got already a
Yes,
basic
maybe I could
community
promote
here,
some of
so
these
that's also
projects
something.
in my profile. Like maybe I could promote something from my network in the project, and that's how we can interact. As far as curation, I think it's all just search and discovery for now. The primary focus is for the individual user's profile, and then the secondary output is the gallery and showcase of everybody's projects. Categories are, let's say, created and self-organized by each individual user, as well as tags. So there should be categories and tags system-wide. And then the directory is public. Yes. The directory is public. Only invited members can create profiles. And also, people need to have access to create their own networks. Not everyone can just start inviting people. But yeah, let's take a look at some of these screens on the canvas and think about how this all works into an application. Okay, so for those who are not familiar with the process, what I just was doing there is just kind of chatting with the agent. I use Whisperflow to do this. So you're seeing my initial feed or my initial prompt go in. I asked it to like, hey, let's walk through some of this stuff and explore some things on a canvas. And I also asked it to let's talk about it before it started doing any work, right? And so that you saw us go into the Replit, just replit.com, put the initial post in, and that's kind of what we're doing here. And then going back and forth with the agent, kind of talking through its answers. And I use something called Whisperflow, or you can literally click right here and talk right into the agent. Whatever your preferred way of interacting, you could type, well, however you input to the computer. You just have to kind of chat with the agent. And what we like to do on these live builds is show you all how you don't have to really think too much like a software developer, but being articulate about what you want to create and the idea you're trying to build is important. That is like a key piece of this. And then the agent will also just talk back with you. So great clarifications. Okay, great. The mockup sandbox is running. So the agent is now exploring designs in the mockup. So part of what's cool with Agent 4 is that you now have this canvas here where the agent can build and kind of create things for you. And you can ask for visual design, visual updates, etc. And so it's coming up with profile and then gallery versions. So it's coming up with two different variants of the profile page as well as the gallery and directory.
That's pretty cool. And Reimar, clarification are these variants of the same app, or are these different views of the workflow within an app?
Correct. So this is creating what it looks like it's creating is two variants of the same app. So it's taking the profile page that I ask it, and it's creating variant A and variant B of that showcase of that profile, and then variant A and variant B of the gallery, which may not be what I really wanted. So we'll see what it comes back with, and we might combine pieces of this. This is one of the reason I like to ask it to explore things on Canvas early on, kind of like the design mode in Agent 3, where you might just want to look at some things visually before you commit too much to like the direction you're going to build out on. And so oftentimes what I'll do is I'll ask it to explore things like this, and then I'll say, hey, I like this piece and this piece. Let's combine those in some unified theme, and let's go ahead and build that. And then I send it off to build.
Very cool. Did you talk about the agent modes you were using here?
Not really. App testing is on, which I like to turn off for the streams. Yeah, so I didn't, and I don't usually change wherever I come in. So let me see. If we come into replit.com and we just come in here, you don't really have too many options for that, right? You're just going to like pick what type of thing you might want to create. They give you some example prompts here, and then you can upload a file or bring in a skill or maybe work with a template if you're part of a team or enterprise. And then you can click plan is what you can do to, instead of having to say, hey, I want to plan this out. But I ask it to look on the canvas too. So I always think that initial prompt is where you should spend a good amount of time. I spent a good amount of time thinking through prompts. Like I had a different prompt here that I like went through, and then I ended up with a secondary prompt. And if we look at what I did last week, it was a totally different prompt. And so more even than the agent autonomy levels is like thinking about that prompt. And then once you're in here riffing with the agent, you can then switch between different autonomy modes, economy, power, etc. And then max if you want to just send this thing crazy. We showed you what turbo looked like last week when we were trying to troubleshoot the Buildathon site live. So I'm almost always just here in autonomous mode with either economy or power selected. And I leave the code optimizations on. That's kind of my default setting is just jumping between these two here.
Mm-hmm. Very
Unless
neat.
I'm scrambling and I'm like under a crunch, like you guys
Turbo
watched
mode.
last week.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Look, there's almost 500 people on the gallery website. I'm wondering, is anybody, like the same issues we weren't having? I learned a ton about optimizing a website over the last week, to be honest. Like I always think it's funny, like what I want to do on these streams is like what I kind of do hidden in the background. Like, so troubleshooting the last week with the agent live was thrilling, and I think people also learned like in real time, like, oh, this is meaningful. Like this stuff's fun, but it's like, there's no pressure here. There's no like tension of like, oh my god, this is all gonna like fall on, like fall apart. So and it's when you're troubleshooting and when you're beating your head against the wall is sometimes when this becomes the most fun, because then when you unlock that thing that you've been kind of beating your head against, it feels so amazing. Like that is the dopamine that comes from this that I don't think comes from like lots of other building environments, right? Do you ever get that, Manny? Is that like a thing that
Oh yeah, dude. Some of the best moments I can remember is like hacking on a problem for like 15 minutes and then agent finally getting it to work. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It just like feels so great when it actually works. But this is the process. Yeah, like finding bugs, hammering them out. For folks that have issues with their repos or their projects, I see some of those comments in the chat. Do me a favor when you post that, drop the ticket as well. And if you haven't, definitely create a ticket and then drop the ticket number in there as well so that we can check it out or can have our support team check it out. That will help us kind of like make sure we can get some eyeballs on that issue that you're having.
Can we just talk a little bit about what we're looking at here? Because this is so impressive. This is so impressive. This is a responsive canvas view of the application, pure design, just the front end of this thing. I'm looking at all three variations of this in response. Like these are actual front ends that you can come in here and click around and see, and it's not perfect. Like you just see there's a little broken image here, but that's no big deal. And to be able to just kind of come in and explore it, I mean, there's not a lot of other platforms that do anything like this.
Right out of the gate, dude. Beautiful.
It's just, just correct. Hang on, my trackpad needs to be, I think I lost my connection to my trackpad. Let me plug that in. Okay.
Yo, Phoenix, we're just gonna roll out this Replit stream, and then I'm probably gonna take a little break, and then we'll be back because I'm gonna deliver a project and gonna start building the Dollar Vibe Club on stream. I'm looking at it now, and I'm not super satisfied about what we have, and I'm just thinking what the approach would be, and I could work all night on it tonight. So I'm just thinking about that. And at the same time, I'm planning a client project here on the right side. I just connected it with Supabase. And basically, I'm going to try and see if I can get it prepped up and run up. Okay. And then I should actually also create a connection. Give me a second, chat.
After this runs, or maybe you want to do this now, if you want to show the cost of those additional variants.
Oh yeah, let's see. Work for 5 minutes, $2. So basically, I have two versions of an app here that I am looking at: profile pages and designs, like for a couple bucks.
Right. This is crazy, dude. Yeah, you have a world-class designer and builder, like gets it done in 5 minutes for $2.
Yeah, and even if you then want to bring in okay, so one of the things I spend a ton of time on, speaking about brand, one of the things I spend a ridiculous amount of time on once I get a project to where I like it is tightening all the little things up, getting rid of all the, any little duplicate things that the agent might have put in there, refining the UI to make it a little nicer. And so like, I don't really think too much about this. Like both of these would be lovely for me. Honestly, honestly, if you guys want to let me know in the chat what you prefer, dark, like App Store vibes, or should we go with this, light, more on brand with like Replit slash type? What are you leaning on?
Can you zoom in on each one of these? Okay, cool. Like the black. And then also with the dark, we can always do a light mode as well. So
Correct.
I'm just looking at the layout.
So this is like the discovery. This would be like the home page, kind of like a gallery home page.
And again, just to recap, these are just buddies sharing their vibe coding projects, right?
Correct. This would be like the best of our network or whatever. So we would have an individual profile, and then collectively we would have this like App Store style experience.
No prize announcements today. Just an update of the community, and I believe on Thursday there's a prize of another 3.5K, and then we go into the last week to compete for the 10K. But right now I'm just stuck on design, thinking what the best option is. Let me also check how many people signed up already. Oh, nice. We have 20 signups, chat. So I definitely want to create something that's fun and adds value. That's great. But we're just getting ready for the Tuesday because I did a lot of building today. Found Super Bay.
Prefers light mode. Oh no, okay, she prefers light modes in general. So I don't know if she's saying she prefers light mode here, but she says she prefers light mode in general.
I was leaning towards dark mode, but I like the last one best. Let's see. Layout definitely put better on the dark mode versus light mode.
A/B test it.
For the gallery, yeah. For the gallery. The thing I like about this are the categories. I guess the tags would be better up top. Okay, let's go with the dark mode. Let's go with this mode. It's simpler. It's cleaner. Okay. I like the App Store style. So let's go ahead and build out our core project here with the profile and App Store, with considerations for the home page not being like a global home page, but being also network specific. So we might have different networks inside of here. So there might be like a vibe code network, and then there might be like a web design network or freelancer network or something like that. But let's go ahead and build this out with, let's use Replit off because we'll be working with Replit community here. And this will, let's just go build it. That's all listen, sometimes I don't know what I'm saying, right? Like, the only thing I have that most of you probably don't is a background in product design, right? Like I have a background in web design and product development, and I've been working with product teams for a long time. And so like, what I have is the language, right? And what I understand of the process is a little bit about working with the agent. But what I don't have are any kind of real code skills. I can go into the code, I can look at the code. A lot of times when I'm like clicking on an element here, so like what we can see sometimes here, this is a hack that I often show, is you can jump right into the code. So if I'm in the preview and I click on an element, right, and then I see this sidebar open up, my little visual editor here, I'm getting a little crackling in my mic. I don't know if I can go in here or not.
I hear it a little bit, but it just started, so.
Okay, good. Okay, so the agent's rebuilding. So if you ever see this happening here, the agent's just working, right? And so your preview sometimes is not available when the agent's working. So we'll just wait for that preview to come up and available. As long as this thing's here, the agent's actually doing its thing, and you see it working here. So sometimes the preview's available while the agent's working, but if the server's restarting, then it won't be available. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm getting that little crackling in the background. Okay, see the artifact is created. Now let me look at the open API spec. All right. So if you do not, like, you don't have to look at what the agent's doing, but if you're interested in learning, if you're looking to kind of get an advantage, sometimes like watching what the agent's doing can help you think through like what's going on here, you know. And some of this stuff may not make any sense to you, you know, like loaded PM workspace skill. What does that mean for you, right? Well, what this is doing is the agent is looking at its skill set, right? The agent has this library of skills that it can access for doing different things. And one of the cool things that Replit does is it kind of manages this orchestration. If you're working in some of the other platforms, or if you're like OpenClaw or some of these other like autonomous platforms that people are buzzing all about, you have skills that you can manage. And Replit also supports the same kind of standardized skills, except for they're all baked in. Like most of the skills you need are kind of baked into the back end here. And Replit, you'll see the agent kind of looking for different skills and pulling from those different skills. And so, again, if you're looking to learn a little bit about how AI works or how this thing is thinking, opening some of these little pills up and kind of seeing what's going on at the different steps is something I like to recommend. Again, a lot of people don't care to do it. A lot of people just want this stuff happening in the background. But especially early on, if you're learning and you want to get a little more technical, it's okay to dive in and just kind of explore.
Yeah, and I like to read it just because it keeps me from going onto social media while agent is building. Because I'm doing something, right? And
I have gotten better at parallel tasks. I have gotten better at like creating new tasks and getting it like working in the background and doing multiple things at once. Especially thinking about how to make sure that like, I'm not touching multiple parts of the same project at the same time, so there's no kind of like conflicts when I merge. But yeah, I'm with you. Like,
All right, chat. Let's see how long they still be streaming.
But it's nice to have that thing.
They've already been streaming an hour now.
The other thing I have been doing is, go into a
Let me see what we're doing while that's all working.
in the chat here with the main task, and like, oh, I want to learn more about that. Tell me more about this API that you're doing or this differentiation. I'll jump into another task and like I'll ask agent to explain it to me to kind of help me like appreciate that a little bit more and letting the main task run.
Angela's got the real sauce here. She says, I also watch what the agent's doing so I can stop it going in the wrong direction.
Right.
That happens sometimes, especially if you're giving it unclear prompts.
Let me get one agent to work, chat. Basically, it's going to be a big project this week. 4 or 5 days to do it. Should be good. While that's publishing, I'm going to take a stretchers, chat. And then after 1 hour, we'll take a little break and then slowly get ready for a work session. Let me see if we can order some food this late. It's 12 midnight out here.
Yeah, so you're playing like kind of like the probabilities, like maybe agent's going down the wrong track, but it's gonna figure it out and you adjust, or you can start a new chat, which then you're bringing in new context into the chat, and so like that might generate more tokens for you. I rarely interrupt agent, even when I see like if it's like egregiously off, right, Mark, to your point, like if I miss something in the prompt, okay, I'll stop it. But more often than not, agent will pick it up or call another agent and like, hey, you got this wrong, and then agent will fix it on its own.
Yeah, the only time, sometimes I'll see it start like, it gets creative. It like will start, especially if you put it on max or if you're on like a higher autonomy, like if you put it on power sometimes, like it will just kind of like make assumptions about things that you didn't want it to do. And so in that context, I'll see it on prompt. And then I'll like, try to mess with it. But again, the best thing is to try to like not interrupt it, is to try to get that stuff in the prompt. So yeah, and I don't know what the expect. Like I'd love to see some of the folks who are building this, how they use it, how do they think about it. Like the really technical folks that are building on Replit, like I'd like to see how they think through their prompts, because I think there's probably like a broad range of like somebody who's just starting out versus someone like Rymar versus someone who's like really technical. Like I bet there's like a whole graph of like prompt nuance and like specificity that maybe somebody watching this is like, oh, I would never put together, like we talked about this the other day, simple prompts versus complex prompts, and I bet there's like prompts that are way more technical and nuanced than the ones I'm creating.
Or you just have a better way of directing agent. Like if we go back to your prompt when you're building the city out of Replit usage, folks, like you had an opinionated prompt, and you went through that back and forth, and you have some expertise there. And so like I think folks that have that technical background, they could just further refine and direct agent in the right in the right direction, and just help agent get there faster.
So while this thing builds, because this thing is taking a little bit of time, and you just mentioned it, you just reminded me, there's a couple things that are happening if you haven't noticed in this buildathon. One, if you haven't discovered them, if you go to your check one, okay, if you go to your profile, that's weird, did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
Something's tripping out with my little sound soundboard over here. My connection to the computer. I don't know. Okay, let's hope we make it through. Anyway, there's this builder profile now that you may stumble into on your profile that will show, you know, your activity, and that's not connected on your profile. So if you go to your Buildathon page, every Buildathon participant will have a page that's been created for them, and so you can kind of go and explore that. But then this Replitopolis that you've seen us explore a couple times before is also now available for you to go and log in. And when you log in, you can kind of see your build. So I'm going to log in. This is my screen. And we're going to start playing a little bit more with this also. But
All right, chat. I did some food ordering. Late night munchies. We'll close off slowly with the boys. I'll mute them, put some music on. And by the time my food comes, I'm going to make sure I don't miss it this time. I hope everybody's working on their projects. I know Malcolm is. He's working on his Buildathon project. I need a logo for Dollar Vibe Club. I'll check that after as well. Yo, what's up, Christopher? Welcome, Dev Mindset. We just chilling. We were watching the Replit Buildathon thingy. Just getting inspired as I am building a project on the right side. This is for a client. I'll be delivering another project after, so you guys will see the number go down on Fiverr. I've got my Fiverr going up in a second. Working on the images for first gig. Thanks for the nice, Christopher. Do send me your Fiverr over in the Discord once it's done. I'm almost done with all my client work, so then I'm planning on how I can enhance the streams a bit. And I also want to get the videos posted so that people can, once I review yours, I can record it, make a snippet of it, and then people can just get the same review over and over. And obviously I'll review more accounts as we go. Just send your accounts in the Discord. The video link should be in the Discord link should be under the video. Now let me say something to my agent. Alright, you can stand by. For now we are going to create a full case file on this client. I have a bunch of attachments. I have a full chat log. I will send you everything over in a zip, and that's the first thing we will do before writing any line of code. We will not write any line of code until I specifically say so. Alright, so we'll get him running. Get him standby. This client I'm particularly gonna do off stream, but that's why I'll be vibe coding the Buildathon on stream. And maybe what I wanted to do actually was say, let me put it in economy. Okay, now I want to create a main landing page that when people visit the website, they land on a landing page with left and right, and they have two options to select. Either we welcome them as a student, or either we welcome them as vibe coders and freelancers. I do not want the header on that page. We can set up a small footer and possibly the newsletter part. Alright chat, I might as well just do this on stream right now. I am waiting for food. Today I'm gonna pause the stream when I get food. Then we're gonna smash that out and take a little relax. For sure, Christopher. Drop it over. I hope you use the same cool nickname as you did on Fiverr. I think that's a great name, Christopher. Or you used Christopher, the actual version, to get more corporate, let's say. Alright, we've got an hour until the food's about to come. So while we're doing that, we're just slowly working on the Buildathon. At the same time, we're watching a bit of Replit here, but we're going to get back to work, so I'll type that in the chat. Where's the chat here? Alright. I'll figure that out. Anyway, we know what to do with the Buildathon right now. I'm just thinking on conceptually, and then I'm going to get it wired up. But let me first work on this client chat. Let me put the cam on my face so I can say hi to you guys. What's poppin' stream? I'm getting ready to work. Waiting for that food. They have chat off, I guess. Ah, it's all good. Now the only thing we gotta do is build. Let me post the stream. Alright, let me go to Discord. Discord, water cooler. Let me get the channel chat. Copy link address. Go to Discord. Building in public. Stop by and feel free to drop some feedback. Let's go team water cooler. Alright chat, we sent this to them. Now let's just see what we get. I kind of want to simplify the build a bit. And I want to start with giving the user a clear path. They have chat. Looking fresh today. Thanks man, looking fresh. All I'm doing is sleeping and working, chat, and eating. We got some good food coming. We get to bang up. And now let me go to this client. Let me first create a full chat log. I think that's gonna be very important for my agent to have. I'll call it chat log. Alright, now let me just copy that entire text chat. This client has sent me so much, man. I think I could write a book with her chat. I probably should write a book with the funniest questions I get. I'll do that soon. Alright, Laura. Here we go, Laura. Let's get it done. That's one. So we'll download this as a PDF. And we'll download it into her unique folder so that I can zip it after. Give me a moment, chat. Why isn't he building? Ah, he did. Alright, that's the old homepage. We'll leave that. This is more like it. I don't know if I like this floating dollar thingy. And I want them fixed position. Give me a moment, chat. So basically today I'm just gonna burn dollars in Replit. We can check at the end of the stream how much we burn on this project, but remove this element and make sure both left div and right div are fixed and no motion. Alright, so we'll make a folder for her. Okay, that's the chat log in it. Now let me see the other files that she sent. Give me a moment, chat. Just checking that food as well. Alright, we're on schedule, we're on schedule. Today just a chill vibe. Code day, building public chat. You know the vibes. We're slowly coming into a dashboard situation where I hope in April we only have 1 or 2 client projects, because I have so many ideas to do with the stream and I was actually only expecting to do it in 2 or 3 months. I did not expect this channel to pump up that fast, so thanks you guys. I know all the names by now from the OGs. You got Christopher, you got King, you got Phoenix, you got FPS, you got shout out Cliff, shout out Rob, shout out Malcolm, shout out Sahil, aka Noxious in the chat, shout out Dev Mindset, he joined yesterday. Young lad, ready to take on the vibe code world. Okay, let's see what we got, chat. I'll open this chat in a new browser, and then I get to preview it with you guys. Let me see if I can make this a bit bigger. I like the baked OS around it, so I'm going to keep that, chat. Okay, so all right. On this landing page, I only want the buttons to be clickable. That's the first setup for now. I need a new logo for the Dollar Vibe Code Club, chat, and I'm going to do after on stream. I'm going to see how I can do it after on stream. Alright, I've got some ideas because I'm inspired by Raymar, seeing as they want to build a social network for vibe coders. We also had that idea, so I've got some ideas. Let me put this a bit higher. This is okay like this. Actually, yeah, I want to see the baked logo. Okay, so the cards are not clickable. Now, I want to add a nice header and a scrolling text. This, I want to add a nice image of people vibe coding or working on their laptops as a co-work, happy people smiling. You can keep a gradient overlay, or you can keep the current graphical overlay. Let's see how it looks with that. Alright, chat, we'll just run it economy step by step, burn them tokens. Matter of fact, let's open our usage for this month so that we see it on stream. Let's document that shit. We'll be able to go back and say back in the days. So right now my account will reset in 3 days, then we get another $100. I'm on the $100 plan. I've spent $200 extra, and then the agent Dollar Vibe Club right now $55. So we'll take it up to $250, and then we should have a full project. Okay, this looks nice, chat. I like this. This looks way more nice, but the text is not readable. So I feel like the text and title should be a bit wider and bigger. I feel like the text should also be full white so it's more readable. Do it both for both cards, any text changes and layout changes you do. Let's see what we get, chat. Let's go full design mode today and full build mode tomorrow, and tomorrow we can just let AI run it. Let me check the stream. The music is good. Yeah, boy, we're going high from here. Not stopping anymore. For sure, Phoenix. I really hope so. I want to keep it the same vibe as I am, and that means work is always first, so entertainment will always be last on this channel. But I am planning to take it really hard for the next 10 months. I'm planning to put way more hours in, and I want to get the video editing going. I'm looking for the right editor. I don't know if there's an editor in the side that watches the streams and wants to be an editor, so that we can take the streams, download them, and then re-upload them as a video. Let me see if I can go to Canva a second, chat. And let me see if we can set up a logo. I think we need a Dollar Vibe Club logo that we can start pushing, maybe make some t-shirts of it. So let's go to the create. We need a logo. I'm basically new to Canva, chat. I've worked all my life in Photoshop. But seeing as I've been... Ooh, an animated logo. Let's just go with a regular logo for now. What is this? Let's try. Dollar Vibe Club logo. And do we have AI here to help us? Generate, make an image, give me design advice. Can you create a logo for me for a community-driven platform all about vibe coding and AI? And it's called the $Vibe Club. Let's see what it does, chat. We're learning as we're going because I haven't worked in Canva in a while. I just use it for little tidbits here and there. I want to create a header, man, but what can I create as a cool header? All right, let's say something. Above the two cards, I want to create a fixed header for now. And for now, just make it a light header. Sorry, make it a light header and just keep it blank. I just want it as a blank section so that I can build it out as a landing page header. Let's see. The $Vibe Club. That's a bit tight, innit? This is a good start, but I would like it a more horizontal long logo for web and desktop. Let's see, chat. Let me change the music a bit. I really got to figure out how I can listen to my own music. I guess I got to update my stream also. I told you guys I would get probably a new iPhone. So that when I do a balcony stretch, I can go to the balcony, you know the vibes. What's he giving us? Come on. Alright, he gave us a header, but do we like that header? I do think it's important, but then we obviously should get a lighter gradient. Let's try a lighter green gradient overlay and purple overlay for both cards now that we have a white header. Yeah, I think the lighter color's better, chat. It gives it a more fresh vibe. And all we gotta do now is get a nice logo. Man, this is total shit. This is the worst I've ever seen AI generate. You got any nice... Do they got $sign? Let me think, chat. I don't know. I don't know yet. You can make this custom header section the same color as the background color as the newsletter section, early access section. Not convinced, chat. I'm not convinced. It's gonna take some iterations for sure. This is how you see I do design. Alright. This is nice. Maybe you can make both cards at least 35% higher. I think this text should be in a card, man. Yeah, I think the text's not clear. I feel like the text here is not fully readable. What could we do to get the best readable experience? Let me actually check my budget chart so that I can increase it. Oh, we're at 500, but I'll get a next alert at 250. Then I know we're at 255. Let's do that. All right, let me see. In the header top left, I want you to create me a strong, bold, horizontal logo where it says Dollar Vibe Club. Potentially with a nice animated icon dollar sign. Maybe it goes from dollar sign to an AI chip to code and back to the dollar sign. Something that stands out. Let's see, chat. We're just running it, being creative. Hey, didn't it change that to black? All right. You can remove these two labels on the top for students and for the vibe coder as well. You can remove this early access section for now. Look at that, chat. Nice. Keep the logo the same size, but you can make the header section a bit higher. And just keep the logo aligned in the middle as you make the section header a bit higher. Very nice. All right, I was gathered. Let me check my dinner chat. Well, my midnight munchies snack. 125. All right, we got time. We got 40 minutes. Let's him build that. Let me check. I haven't got one yet. Let me check. All right, so just chatting with the client. Well, he's building. Okay, let me check now. I like this. I think the footer should be able to show, but this is good. This is a good start, chat. And maybe we do add something in the header, but let me think about that. I got another message here. Okay, I'll do it now. One sec. All right, let me go to her chat from the beginning. This is the client that sent me like almost a Bible. When I'm looking at that chat, man, like we've been chatting, this project is a good project. It paid me a lot. It learned me, taught me a lot, and it's going to teach me a whole lot because now I'm going to start milestone 3, which is incredible. But these are the customers that 1 out of 10, you know what I mean? 1 out of 10. All right, I like this. What could we add in the thing? I'll add my YouTube link. So I will say, in the top right of this corner, I want to add a very nice, cool and animated YouTube button to show people that I'm building in public daily and the office is open, live on stream. Let me get my YouTube. Oh, he already has it, I think. Let's see what he says. This is good. This is good. Sorry chat, I'm doing some focus work as well. Let me download the terms and conditions that she has. Download. PDF document. Save it in the client's folder. I'll make folders for Claude. So I'll say site content legal. And then I'll say save it. Alright, so I'll organize it for Claude as well. Look at me thinking about the agents. Zip Laura's attempt. What is this? Actually, I might have a copy of the unmessed one. I don't know what this means. Alright, that's for another time. Passwords is good. Superbase and Stripe logins I have. Alright, food's on the way chat. I'm just gonna try and get this project in an archive so that I can launch it onto the agent. Official logo. UI looks basic. We can improve it on the X. What are you talking about, Noxious? The UI of this Dollar Vibe Club? Well, I want to keep it as simple as possible, Noxious, and I want to build upon it because now we have to go to build mode. And if we go to fine-tune mode where we want the best looking thing, then we'll never ship. And I want to ship by this Thursday. And I want to ship on a clear path where I don't mix the two between them. And then in a later stage, these two will get a bridge and will be able to help assist each other. And these will be able to make money of these. And vice versa. So building in public daily. I like that. Oh, that needs to be my YouTube link. Give me a second. Give me a second, chat. We can improve it on exactly V1. UI improvements can come later. Yeah, Malcolm, I think you feel me. I want to get just the project submitted with some actual features. And I think it's important, especially because that the guys of Replit were talking about basically what we've been talking about the last 16 days. Alright, so back to, but I appreciate the feedback, Noxious, and I promise you we'll make it more sexy in the future. But right now we just gotta, people gotta land on it and they gotta say, I understand what this is. And right now I'm not feeling that. let's try something and let's add some card or something as a light background behind these texts so that everything becomes better readable. Right now it's still not readable. Let's see what we get. Laura keeps chatting here, so every time I scroll up to the chat it jumps back down, so let me just go over here. Alright, this is like I say, you got 1 in 10 clients chat that you know. This is the reason why I want to build out the community now. So we just deal with like-minded people and not with people who think they know vibe coding but actually have no idea what vibe coding is. And they'll go to ChatGPT and type things like, oh, and I'll have this. Okay, I'll have 2 for now as I... Also chatting with the clients in my Fiverr inbox chat, it's ongoing every day. We're constantly chatting with them. That's the key to Fiverr's success, is communication. Alright, this looks way better. And then maybe just to get some little design in it. This is nice. Around the green for students, I want to add a soft green glow going around that card. And then a soft purple glow going around the Vibe Coders card. But very soft, very discreet. Alright. Let me continue to see if there's any attachments of her that I would need to download to hand over to my Claude agent. I'm doing a very big briefing this time. So what is this? I've added some notes and adjustments. Alright, that's a lesson dashboard. No idea. I'll take the video that she's downloaded as well. Alright, let me go back. The video is downloaded. Okay, I think we should... For now, let's only put YouTube, Facebook, and X, and Instagram, and only use the real icons of the platform. What else can we add here to make this a bit more sexy, chat? Let me think. I would like this to be full white. Alright, like now we're looking good. No attachments to download. I remember she has 3. Alright, let me download these screenshots. Client idea. Download it, and download it. Please change this to full color white and make the icons at the bottom for social media also full color white. Another Fiverr message. Who was it? Ah, it's Laura again. So I guess she'll have to wait a moment. Alright, I think we should be good on full briefing. Let me just check if there's any more attachments I'm missing, chat, and then I'm gonna do an order delivery. Food's almost here, chat, at 1 AM. So we've got 10 minutes actually, that's even more early. I'm already liking this way more because it gives you a clear version of what you're here to do. $1 a month. Maybe below the big title, big titles, maybe right above the subtitles, text. I want a clear slogan that it says like $1 a month, the cheapest vibe code academy on the internet. All right, we'll make it cheapest vibe, but let's see what we get. Oh, I got a new client request, chat. Let me just handle that. French. Hello, bonjour. Hi. You speak English? Is there any people in the chat with a Fiverr account that speak French? Yo, Dynasty, welcome to the chat. Whoever speaks French, I might be able to pass you on a referral, but you must have a Fiverr account. And I hope I can be able to pass you on because normally it's maybe level 1 only. But let's see. What's up, King? We're doing a lot of work out here. We had the Replit stream. Now we're just fine-tuning and getting the Dollar Vibe Club launch ready. I got food coming in 10 minutes, so I'm going to be logging off in 10 minutes. And that's it for the Replit stream then. And then I'll be back in an hour or two. And then I'm going to bang out a 7-8 hour session. Nice, King. Nice. Let me see what... Did you post it in the Discord? If yes, then I'll check it after on stream. After my food. We got 5 to 10 minutes, chat. So I'm about to end the stream. King, sorry for that. I know you just joined. But you can feel free to skip back. And I'll be back in an hour for sure, chat. We got 10 minutes. So I'm going to let it run until 2 hours. And then once it hit 2 hours, we'll take it from there. I like this a lot. And then when I click here, I go to the vibe to this one. So basically, you can remove this top bar here for the student homepage landing page for now. Make sure the student has a different pathway than the vibe coder, and we will have a few more roles coming in after. Heavy Mia, good vibe as usual, man. It's been a great Tuesday so far. I've got food coming in 10 minutes. It's being delivered right now. So I'm gonna log off. But this was it for the Replit stream part 1, day 17. And I'll be back in exactly 1 hour, 1.5 hours. And then we're gonna fully bang out the Dollar Vibe Club on stream non-stop. That's the only project we'll be doing. While I'm working on 2 projects for clients on the site that are a bit more confidential. So I can't share a lot of data of that. But we're on schedule. The week's looking great. It's Tuesday. We got a little fire that we got to put out later on with Skilly. But we'll take care of that. There's always solutions. Yeah, I'll be back later, Mia, for sure. I'm going to log off though. So I'm going to end this streamer in 10 minutes once the dinner gets here. You know the vibes. Once it comes out here, I'm actually in 1 minute. I'm going to go down and pick up my food, chat. So while I'm doing that, I'll put on the mission control. He's still building the final pages. And then once food comes in, I'll see you later, chat. I'll wait. I'll give it a few more minutes. Let me see what I was doing here, actually. Oh, yeah, we were working on a logo, but we kind of got a logo sorted. I'm happy with this. All right, a little bug chat. That's normal. Okay, see you in a few minutes, chat. Alright, chat. I'm gonna end the stream. I'll be back. Let me end the stream, chat. Gonna get some dinners in. See you in a few, chat. What's up, Mo? I'll see you back. I'll be back in a